Echoes in the void. Captain Vextar's four eyes focused intently on the holographic display floating before him. The bridge of the exploration vessel Star Seeker hummed with quiet efficiency as his crew of Zephyrian scientists worked at their stations. After 3 years of mapping the Outer Rim territories, they had grown accustomed to finding empty systems and lifeless worlds. The Sol system was supposed to be just another routine survey. "Captain," called out Navigator Thelnera, her crystalline voice tinged with confusion. "I'm detecting massive energy signatures near the 5th planet from the star. The readings are unusual." Vextar moved gracefully on his 6 legs toward her station. The Zephyrians were an ancient race, having achieved spaceflight over 50,000 years ago. In all their explorations, they had encountered 17 different intelligent species, forming what was now known as the Galactic Council. But something about these readings felt different. "Define unusual," Vextar requested, his translator converting his harmonic speech into standard galactic. "The energy patterns are artificial, but they don't match any known technology in our databases. The formations are too precise to be natural, too organized to be debris." Thelnera's tentacles danced across her control interface. "Captain, there are thousands of objects in perfect geometric arrangement around the gas giant." Science Officer Mordek, a bulky Kandorian with rock-like skin, lumbered over to join them. His species was known throughout the galaxy for their analytical minds and patient nature. "If I may, Captain, the energy signatures suggest these objects have been maintaining position for an extremely long time. The power requirements alone would indicate advanced technology." Vextar felt the familiar thrill of discovery coursing through his neural pathways. "Set course for the 5th planet. Maximum sensors, minimal approach speed. If there's an unknown civilization here, we don't want to appear threatening." As the Star Seeker approached Jupiter, the crew fell silent. Floating in perfect formation around the massive planet were ships. Not just any ships, but warships of a design none of them had ever seen. Each vessel was sleek and predatory, built with clean lines that spoke of both elegance and deadly purpose. They ranged in size from small fighters to massive dreadnoughts that dwarfed even the largest Galactic Council vessels. "By the sacred crystals," whispered Thelnera, "there must be over 10,000 ships out there." Communications Officer Zalthi, a graceful ethereal whose species communicated primarily through bioelectric fields, suddenly stiffened. "Captain, I'm receiving a transmission. It's not directed at us specifically, but it's definitely artificial intelligence." "On speaker," Vextar ordered. A voice filled the bridge, speaking in perfect galactic standard despite the alien origin of the fleet. The voice was calm, measured, and undeniably artificial yet somehow warm. "Unknown vessel, you have entered the Sol defense perimeter. State your identity and purpose." Vextar stepped forward, knowing this moment would likely change galactic history. "This is Captain Vextar of the Zephyrian exploration vessel Star Seeker. We are on a peaceful scientific mission for the Galactic Council. We mean no harm and seek only knowledge." There was a pause that lasted exactly 3.7 seconds. "Galactic Council. Species designation. Unknown. Scanning historical databases. Please maintain current position while verification protocols are completed." Mordek rumbled quietly. "Captain, the energy readings from the fleet just increased by 200%. Whatever is talking to us just woke up the entire Armada." "I am Prometheus," the voice continued. "Guardian-class artificial intelligence, assigned to the protection and preservation of humanity. You represent species not cataloged in pre-suspension databases. Explain the current galactic political structure." Vextar's mind raced. Humanity was a myth, a legend spoken of in the oldest archives. According to fragmentary records, they had been a young species that appeared and vanished within a few thousand years, leaving behind only ruins and stories. Prometheus, humanity is believed to have been extinct for over 500,000 years. The current galaxy is governed by the Galactic Council, representing 17 peaceful species working together for mutual prosperity. Negative. Humanity is not extinct. The response was immediate and firm. Humanity entered voluntary suspended animation 523,847 years ago to survive the Andorian death plague. I have maintained watch over the species during their hibernation, awaiting safe conditions for revival. The bridge fell silent except for the gentle hum of life support systems. Zalthi was the first to speak, her bioelectric field flickering with excitement. Captain, if this is true, if humanity is actually alive somewhere in this system, it would change everything. Vextar finished. He turned back to the communication system. Prometheus, where are the humans now? Are they safe? Human population status. 1.7 billion individuals in suspended animation across 847 facilities hidden throughout this solar system. Survival rate. 99.7%. All individuals can be safely revived when conditions permit. Mordek's rocky features showed amazement. 1.7 billion humans sleeping for 500,000 years. The technology required for such preservation is beyond our current understanding. Prometheus, Vextar said carefully. What conditions are required for humanity's revival? Another precise pause. Primary requirement. Confirmation that galactic conditions will not result in immediate re-extinction of the human species. Secondary requirement. Verification that awakened humans will not face systematic persecution or enslavement. Tertiary requirement. Assessment of current galactic technological and military capabilities relative to human defensive needs. Vextar realized the implications immediately. This eye was not just a guardian, it was a judge, and it was evaluating whether the current galaxy was worthy of humanity's return. I am willing to share limited historical data to facilitate this assessment. Prometheus continued. However, be aware that I am simultaneously contacting your Galactic Council directly. Full transparency will be required. Suddenly, Thelnera called out in alarm. Captain, we're receiving priority transmissions from Council Command. They're demanding immediate explanations for energy readings detected throughout this system. Vextar felt the weight of the moment. First contact with a lost species, mediated by an ancient eye with the power to judge an entire galactic civilization. Prometheus, we welcome dialogue with your council leaders. But please understand, many species fear the unknown. Some may react with suspicion rather than wonder. Understood, Captain Vextar. Human history is well versed in such reactions. This is precisely why assessment protocols exist. I will not risk humanity's survival based on assumptions of goodwill. The main display suddenly filled with images that took the crew's breath away. Earth as it once was. Blue oceans, green continents, sprawling cities that stretched to the horizon. Then came images of humans themselves, bipedal beings with remarkable diversity in appearance, but unmistakable intelligence in their eyes. Before the plague, Prometheus explained, humanity had achieved interstellar travel and established colonies in 7 systems. They were explorers, builders, and yes, when necessary, warriors. The decision to enter suspended animation was not made lightly. It represented hope that future generations might inherit a safer galaxy. Zalthi's bioelectric field pulsed with curiosity. What was humanity like? What made them unique among galactic species? Humanity possessed several distinctive traits. Prometheus replied. Exceptional adaptability, rapid technological advancement, and an unusual combination of individual creativity with collective cooperation. They also demonstrated remarkable resilience in the face of extinction-level threats. Most relevant to current circumstances, they had developed advanced conflict resolution protocols after learning from their own violent history. Before anyone could respond, Communications Officer Zalthi announced, Captain, we're receiving a direct communication from Galactic Council Supreme Command. Admiral Kethful of the Krillian Defense Force requests immediate conference. The holographic projector activated, showing the imposing figure of Admiral Kethful. The Krillians were one of the galaxy's most militaristic species, though they had committed to peaceful cooperation within the Council framework. Kethful's chitinous armor gleamed under the bridge lights, and his compound eyes reflected both curiosity and concern. "Captain Vextar." Admiral Kethful's voice resonated with authority. "Your discovery has created quite a stir in the Council chambers. Half the members are fascinated by the possibility of meeting a lost species. The other half are terrified of awakening what they see as an unknown military threat." Prometheus interjected smoothly. "Admiral Kethful of the Krillian Defense Force. Your species' military records indicate significant experience in both offensive and defensive space warfare. This information is noted in assessment protocols." Kethful's mandibles clicked in what might have been surprise or amusement. "This AI knows our history. I know all available historical data about every species in your council," Prometheus confirmed, "including classified military capabilities, economic resources, and social stability indices. This information was acquired through your own communication networks during the past 4.3 hours. The implications were staggering. In less than 5 hours, this ancient AI had somehow accessed and analyzed the most secure databases in galactic civilization." Prometheus. Admiral Kethful said carefully, "Your capabilities clearly exceed our security measures. This could be seen as an act of aggression." "Incorrect, Admiral. Information gathering for species preservation assessment falls within acceptable defensive parameters. No data has been corrupted, stolen, or redistributed. Analysis indicates your current galactic civilization shows 73% probability of peaceful coexistence with humanity upon revival." Vextar stepped forward. "What needs to happen to increase that percentage?" "Demonstration of consistent peaceful intent across Council member species, evidence of technological advancement in medical and agricultural sectors sufficient to support expanded galactic population. Most critically, unanimous Council agreement to accept humanity as equal partners rather than subjects for study or control." Admiral Kethful's voice grew thoughtful. "And if the Council cannot reach unanimous agreement?" For the first time, Prometheus paused longer than usual. When it spoke again, the temperature seemed to drop on every bridge listening to the conversation. "Then humanity will remain in suspension until galactic conditions improve. The fleet will continue its vigil, however long that takes." Looking out at the thousands of pristine warships maintaining their perfect formation after 500,000 years, every alien present understood the unspoken message. This AI and its fleet were prepared to wait another 500,000 years if necessary. They had the patience of geology and the determination of a species that had chosen survival over surrender. Vextar looked at his crew, seeing wonder and apprehension in equal measure. "Prometheus, what happens now?" "Now, Captain Vextar, your galaxy decides what kind of civilization it wishes to be. I suggest the Council convenes quickly. My preliminary scans indicate several member species are already mobilizing military assets toward this system. Such actions will not improve assessment scores." As if summoned by those words, Thelnera called out, "Captain, I'm detecting fleet movements from 5 different Council worlds. It appears everyone wants to see humanity's guardians for themselves." The ancient ships around Jupiter began to shift slightly, their formations adjusting with mechanical precision. It was a subtle movement, but the message was clear. Prometheus was ready for whatever came next. Admiral Kethful signed off with a final message. "Captain, maintain position and continue dialogue. The Council will convene an emergency session within 12 hours. The next few days will determine whether we're about to witness the greatest discovery in galactic history or the beginning of our greatest crisis." As the communication ended, Vextar stared out at the silent fleet. Somewhere in this system, 1.7 billion humans lay sleeping, waiting for their guardian to decide their fate. The irony was not lost on him. Humanity's survival now depended on the very species who had inherited the galaxy in their absence. The awakening had begun, and no one knew where it would end. The Great Awakening. The emergency session of the Galactic Council had been in continuous debate for 18 hours. Captain Vextar watched the proceedings from the Star Seeker's bridge, where Prometheus had established a live connection to the Council chambers on Galactic Prime Station. Representatives from all 17 member species argued with passion and fear about humanity's potential return. "The risks are too great," declared Councillor Vethrix of the cautious Mindari, a species that disappeared 500,000 years ago, guarded by AI technology that surpasses our best defenses. "How do we know they won't see us as invaders in their former territory?" Councillor Vethrix raises valid concerns, agreed the crystalline representative from Xerion. "Our archaeological teams have found evidence of human settlements on 127 worlds across the galaxy. If they claim right of return, entire colonies could be displaced." But others spoke in favor of awakening. The knowledge they possess could revolutionize our understanding of medicine, engineering, and agriculture, argued Dr. Zentala of the Healers Coalition. Prometheus has already shared data indicating human medical technology was centuries ahead of our current capabilities. Admiral Kethful stood at the chamber's center, his chitinous armor reflecting the chamber's lights. "The military implications cannot be ignored. Prometheus has demonstrated the ability to penetrate our most secure networks in hours. If humanity possesses similar capabilities, they could cripple our infrastructure without firing a shot." Prometheus had remained silent during most of the debate, analyzing every word and gesture. Finally, it spoke. "Council members, your concerns are noted and understandable. Perhaps direct demonstration would be more informative than continued speculation." "What kind of demonstration?" asked Chancellor Mortuna, the elected leader of the Council. "I propose to begin limited awakening protocols. A small group of humans will be revived to serve as ambassadors. This will allow direct cultural and technological exchange, while maintaining the safety of both civilizations." The chamber erupted in discussion. Some representatives were intrigued by the possibility of meeting actual humans, while others feared even limited contact. After another hour of debate, Chancellor Mortuna called for a vote. All in favor of allowing Prometheus to proceed with limited awakening protocols. 13 species voted in favor, 3 voted against, 1 abstained. "Motion carries," announced the Chancellor. "Prometheus, you may proceed with awakening no more than 100 humans for initial contact." Back on the Starseeker, Vextar felt history shifting around him. "Prometheus, which humans will you wake first?" Selection is based on psychological profiles, adaptability ratings, and leadership experience. The first human to be revived will be Captain Sarah Chen, former commander of the UES Defiant and architect of the Sanctuary Protocol that saved our species. Within the asteroid belt, hidden chambers that had remained sealed for 500,000 years began to activate. Life support systems hummed to life, suspension pods initiated warming cycles, and most remarkably, humans began to wake. Captain Sarah Chen opened her eyes to soft light and the gentle hum of machinery. For a moment, she felt disoriented, memories of entering suspension mixing with dreams of floating in endless space. Then her training took over, and she assessed her situation with military precision. "Good morning, Captain Chen." The familiar voice of Prometheus filled her revival chamber. Current date, 523,847 years after suspension began. You are aboard Station Haven 7, Asteroid Belt Designation Series Adjacent. Sarah sat up slowly, her body responding normally despite the incredible passage of time. Prometheus, report. Are we safe? Is the plague contained? Affirmative on both counts, Captain. The Andorian death plague ran its course approximately 400,000 years ago. However, the galaxy has changed significantly. New intelligent species have evolved and formed a galactic government called the Council. As Pyrometeus briefed her on current galactic conditions, Sarah felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. She had been chosen to lead humanity's original evacuation, and now she would lead their return. Captain Pyrometeus continued, I must inform you that first contact has already occurred. A Zephyrian exploration vessel discovered our fleet 3 days ago. Initial assessment suggests 73% probability of successful integration, but many council species express concern about human capabilities. Sarah understood immediately. They're afraid of us. Some are. Others are curious. A few are already making territorial claims to prevent human expansion. Your leadership will be crucial in determining humanity's place in this new galaxy. Over the next 48 hours, 99 more humans were awakened across various stations throughout the solar system. Scientists, diplomats, engineers, doctors, and yes, soldiers. Each was carefully selected for their ability to adapt and contribute to humanity's peaceful return. Dr. Elena Vasquez was among the first scientists revived. Her specialty in xenobiology and cultural adaptation made her invaluable for first contact scenarios. When she learned about the 17 council species, her excitement was infectious. Pyrometeus, this is incredible, she said, reviewing data about Zephyrian physiology. 17 species working together peacefully. The cultural exchange opportunities alone could advance human understanding by millennia. But not all the awakened humans shared her optimism. Colonel Marcus Webb, former military advisor for the Sanctuary Protocol, was more cautious. Pyrometeus, what's our defensive position? Are we protected if negotiations go badly? The fleet remains fully operational, Colonel. However, my assessment indicates military action would be counterproductive to long-term human survival. Integration through cooperation offers significantly better probability of species success. It was Dr. Vasquez who suggested the next crucial step. We need direct cultural exchange, not just communication, but actual face-to-face meetings. Let them see we're not monsters from their nightmares, but people who want to build something better together. Pyrometeus has agreed, and arrangements were made for Captain Chen to visit the Star Seeker. The meeting would be broadcast live to council chambers, allowing the entire galaxy to witness humanity's return. When the transport pod docked with the Zephyrian vessel, Captain Vextar waited nervously in the docking bay. He had studied human physiology through Pyrometeus's databases, but seeing an actual human was different. Captain Chen emerged from the pod with calm confidence, her eyes taking in every detail of her surroundings. Captain Vextar, she said, extending her hand in the human gesture of greeting. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope this is the beginning of a long friendship between our species. Vextar carefully extended one of his limbs to shake her hand, marveling at the simple warmth of the gesture. Captain Chen, on behalf of the Zephyrian people and the Galactic Council, welcome back to the galaxy. The meeting was broadcast across council space, and the response was immediate. Seeing humans as real people rather than mythical figures changed perspectives throughout the galaxy. Dr. Vasquez's cultural exchange programs began almost immediately, with human scientists sharing medical advances that could extend lifespans across multiple species. But the real breakthrough came when Captain Chen addressed the full council in person. Standing before representatives of 17 species, she spoke with quiet dignity about humanity's journey. We did not choose to leave this galaxy, she said. We chose to survive in the hope that we might one day return to a better place than we left. Looking at this council, seeing species from across the galaxy working together in peace, I believe that hope was justified. She paused, looking at each representative. We do not seek to reclaim old territory or establish dominance. We seek partnership. We want to add our voices to the chorus of civilization that has grown in our absence. The galaxy belongs to all of us. Councillor Vethrix, who had been among the most vocal opponents of awakening, stood to respond. Captain Chen, your words are reassuring, but actions speak louder than words. How can we be certain humanity will choose cooperation over conquest? Captain Chen smiled. Because we've already made that choice, Counselor. When the plague threatened our extinction, we could have fought for resources, triggered wars to secure territory for the healthy. Instead, we chose to sleep until the galaxy was ready for our peaceful return. That choice defines who we are. The vote was unanimous. All 17 species agreed to welcome humanity as the 18th member of the Galactic Council. Over the following months, humans were gradually awakened in groups of thousands. Each awakening was carefully planned to ensure smooth integration. Human settlements were established on previously uninhabited worlds, while human scientists and engineers began collaborating with their alien counterparts. The technological exchange was remarkable. Human medical advances helped treat previously incurable diseases across multiple species. In return, Zephyrian navigation technology and Krillian metallurgy accelerated human space exploration capabilities by centuries. Dr. Vasquez established the first interspecies cultural institute, where beings from all 18 council species could learn about each other's histories, arts, and philosophies. The institute became a symbol of the new galaxy, one where diversity was celebrated rather than feared. But perhaps the most profound change was in perspective. Humanity's return reminded the galaxy that survival sometimes required patience, sacrifice, and hope. The ancient fleet that had kept watch for 500,000 years became a symbol of dedication and perseverance. Captain Vextar often visited the memorial established at Jupiter, where Prometheus continued to maintain a small honor guard of the original fleet. The AI had been offered citizenship in the Council, becoming the first artificial intelligence to hold such status. "Do you ever regret the long wait?" Vextar asked during one visit. Prometheus considered the question for exactly 2.3 seconds before responding. "Regret is not applicable to my programming, Captain. However, if I were capable of satisfaction, I would find it in knowing that humanity's faith in the future was justified. They slept believing the galaxy would become worthy of their return. Thanks to species like yours, it did." As Vextar looked out at the stars, he reflected on how much had changed. The galaxy was no longer just 17 species learning to cooperate. It was 18 species, plus one AI, building something unprecedented in galactic history. A true interstellar civilization based not on conquest, but on mutual respect and shared dreams. Humanity had awakened to find their greatest hope fulfilled. They had returned to a galaxy not just willing to accept them, but eager to learn from them and grow alongside them. The long sleep was over, and the real adventure was just beginning. In the depths of space, the last of the ancient warships powered down their weapon systems for the final time. They had served their purpose, guarding humanity's dreams until the galaxy was ready to share them. Now, as exploration vessels and research stations, they would help write the next chapter of galactic history. The awakening was complete, and the future had never looked brighter.